Cyber Threat Brief for June 16, 2026. Cisco patches its 8th SDWAN 0 day of the year. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, adds 2 more KEV, Known Exploited Vulnerabilities Catalog, entries by June 29th deadline, and Microsoft fixes a critical Copilot flaw that allowed one-click data theft. Oracle PeopleSoft exploits hit higher education, Lightspeed cPanel escalates to root, and Chrome patches another actively exploited V8 0 day. Here's the full breakdown of today's top security stories. Daily Cybersecurity Brief. June 16, 2026. Next section, Critical Alerts. Cisco Catalyst SDWAN Manager Arbitrary File, write CVE 2026-20262. Cisco patched a medium-severity arbitrary file, write vulnerability in Catalyst SDWAN Manager, that was exploited in limited attacks during June 2026. CVE 2026-20262. CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, 6.5, stems from inadequate validation during file uploads to an affected API endpoint, allowing authenticated attackers with write access to create or overwrite any file on the underlying OS and escalate to root. The flaw impacts all deployment types including on-prem, Cloud Pro, Cloud Cisco Managed, and Government FedRAMP. Action, patch immediately. CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, KEV, Known Exploited Vulnerabilities Catalog, deadline June 29, 2026. Check for exploitation by auditing /var/log/nms/vmanage server. Log for suspicious WAR file uploads /var/log/nms/vmanage app server. Log for deployment of suspicious WAR and /var/log/nms/containers/service proxy/service proxy access. Log for post request to /suspicious/index. JSP. This is the 8th Cisco SDWAN vulnerability exploited in 2026. Upgrade to fixed versions 20.9.9.2 or depending on your release branch, and 5 additional IP addresses in the show notes. Sources: The Hacker News Bleeping Computer Security Week CISA. Google Chrome V8 0 day. CVE 2026-11645, Google patched an actively exploited 0 day in Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. CVE 2026-11645, CVSS 8.8, is an out-of-bounds memory access flaw that Google acknowledged is being exploited in the wild. CISA added it to the KEV catalog with a June 23, 2026 deadline. EPSS, the Exploit Prediction Scoring System, scores 0.7, 49th percentile. This is the 5th Chrome 0 day Google has addressed in 2026, following and 4 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Action: update Chrome and Edge immediately. Chrome fixed in version 134.0.6998.203 and later. Microsoft Edge Chromium-based browsers inherit the fix. Sources: The Hacker News MSRC. Oracle PeopleSoft 0 day exploited by shiny hunters. CVE 2026-35273. Shiny Hunters, UNC 6240. Exploited an unpatched authentication bypass in Oracle PeopleSoft Enterprise People Tools between May 27 and June 9, 2026. CVE 2026-35273, CVSS 9.8, is a missing authentication flaw that allows unauthenticated attackers to take over PeopleSoft systems. The campaign primarily targeted higher education. 68% of 100-plus notified organizations were universities and colleges. Attackers used Mesh Central for reconnaissance, conducted lateral movement, and exfiltrated data published on the Shiny Hunters leak site June 9. CISA added this to KEV with a June 15, 2026 deadline, now passed. EPSS 0.7, 49th percentile. Exploitation targeted SimHub endpoints. Action: if patching deadline already passed and you run PeopleSoft, validate patch status immediately. Check for signs of compromise, unauthorized Mesh Central deployments, suspicious access to SimHub endpoints, and lateral movement. This is ransomware linked and was used for data exfiltration. Sources: The Hacker News. Lightspeed cPanel plugin privilege escalation. CVE 2026-54420. CISA added CVE 2026-54420. CVSS 8.5, to the KEV catalog with a June 18, 2026 deadline. Vulnerability affects Lightspeed cPanel plugin before 2.4.8, distributed in Lightspeed WHM plugin before 5.3.2.0. and allows users with FTP or web shell access to escalate privileges to root on shared hosting servers running Cloud Linux or Cage FS through symlink manipulation. EPSS 0.3, 26th percentile. Namecheap reported the issue May 31, 2026. Action: upgrade to Lightspeed WHM plugin v5.3.2.1 bundled with cPanel plugin v2.4. 8 or higher. Check for exploitation by running grep re cPanel JSON API func equals generate exert package user size cert action entry asterisk genexert / usr / local / cPanel / logs / var / cPanel / logs /2 / dev / null. If output appears, look for generate exert followed by package user size for the same user and 710 concurrent calls per attempt. Legitimate UI does one at a time. Source: The Hacker News. Next section, ransomware claims, last 48h. Deadlock Ransomware Group posted 75 claims in the last 30 days. Recent victims from June 15-16 include Group Victim Sector Country Deadlock Zhangjiagang Fortune Chemical Co. Limited. 93S, R, L. Customs Brokerage Illy Gentleman Mackay Sugar Agriculture / Food Production Australia Deadlock Group continues high-volume claims activity targeting diverse sectors globally. 75 claims tracked across the last 30 days. Next section, ransomware and extortion. Mackay Sugar ransomware attack shuts down Mills Gentleman Ransomware Group. Storm 2697 targeted Mackay Sugar, Australia's second-largest raw sugar producer, shutting down 2 of 3 mills in Queensland. The attack was disclosed June 10, 2026, and forced the company to halt cane processing. Limited manual crushing resumed June 12 at 1 mill for cane harvested before the incident. Steam trials were underway as of June 15, with staged restart of crushing operations planned for later in the week. Gentleman named Mackay Sugar on its leak site June 15, but has not yet leaked data. The group has listed 500-plus alleged victims and is known for worm-like lateral movement capabilities. Action: if operating industrial or OT environments, verify network segmentation between IT and ICS, industrial control systems, /OT systems. Gentleman malware has lateral movement capabilities that can spread across poorly segmented networks. Source: Security Week. Fulcrum Sec leaks Novo Nordisk data after $25 M demand, goes unpaid. Fulcrum Sec leaked data from Danish pharma giant Novo Nordisk after a $25 million ransom demand when unpaid. Novo Nordisk disclosed the incident June 11. The company produces insulin and semaglutide, marketed as Wegovy for weight loss and Ozempic for type 2 diabetes. Source: data breaches. Net. Conti ransomware developer pleads guilty. Ukrainian national Oleksiy Oleksiyovich Litvinenko, 44, pleaded guilty in U.S. court to wire fraud conspiracy for his role in the Conti ransomware group. Litvinenko joined Conti in September 2021 and developed a malware loader for the group. He possessed data from 12 victims, including 8 in the U.S., and continued cybercriminal activity after Conti shut down in May 2022. Litvinenko faces up to 20 years in prison and is scheduled for sentencing September 10, 2026. Conti attacked over 1,000 organizations between 2020 to 2022 and received at least $150 million in ransom payments by January 2022. Source: Security Week. Next section, General Security News. Microsoft 365 Copilot Search Leak Vulnerability. CVE 2026-42824. Researchers at Varonis disclose search leak. Critical vulnerability chain in Microsoft 365 Copilot Enterprise that allowed attackers to exfiltrate sensitive data through a crafted URL. CVE 2026-42824, CVSS 6.5 Microsoft 7. 5 NVD chains 3 bugs: parameter prompt P2P injection, HTML rendering race condition, and a Bing SSRF that bypasses content security policy. An attacker sends a victim a Copilot link with a malicious prompt in the queue parameter that instructs Copilot to search the victim's mailbox, extract data, MFA, multi-factor authentication, codes, passwords, email subjects, and embed it in an image URL. While Copilot is streaming its response, a race condition allows an attacker-controlled image tag to execute before sanitization completes. The image tag points to Bing's search by image endpoint, which makes a server-side request to the attacker server with the stolen data in the URL path. Bing is whitelisted in the CSB, so the request succeeds. The victim sees only Copilot thinking with no indication of data theft. Microsoft patched the flaw at the beginning of June 2026. No user action required. Sources: The Hacker News Dark Reading Bleeping Computer. 1,500 plus Arch Linux packages compromised with malware. Unknown threat actors compromised hundreds of abandoned packages in the Arch user repository, and modified them with pre-install scripts that download and execute a malicious NPM package called Atomic Lockfile. The campaign, codenamed Atomic Arch by Sonatype, started with 400 affected packages but rose to over 1,500. The payload includes credential harvesting, stealth, anti-debugging, and potential data exfiltration capabilities. Arch Linux developers deleted all known malicious commits as of June 12, 2026. Action: if using AUR packages, audit pre-install scripts for suspicious NPM dependencies. Review recently installed AUR packages for Atomic Lockfile references. Consider scanning for IOCs related to credential theft. Source: The Hacker News. FBI takes down outsider FAS Enterprise. The FBI took down domains linked to Outsider, a Chinese phishing-as-a-service FAS software kit. Outsider is estimated to have compromised 3,870,000 credit cards with $1.9 billion in losses since July 2023. Google is pursuing legal action in parallel. Source: The Hacker News. Shiny Hunters claims Council of Europe. The Council of Europe, the continent's oldest intergovernmental body, is investigating claims of a data breach made by Shiny Hunters Extortion Group over the weekend. Source: Bleeping Computer. North Korean hackers target developers with malicious tools. Contagious interview. Famous Kalama, Hexagonal Rodent, Void Docubuy, a North Korean threat cluster, is orchestrating phishing campaigns using developer role recruitment or code review themes. The campaigns turn developer tools into malware delivery channels. Action: train developers to validate recruitment contacts and code review requests through official channels. Scan for suspicious developer tool downloads from non-official sources. Source: The Hacker News. Chinese APT, Advanced Persistent Threat, UNC 6508, targets U.S. medical and academic research. Google Threat Intelligence Group identified a sophisticated campaign by UNC 6508, a PRC Nexus threat actor, targeting North American academic, medical, and military research institutions. The threat actor remained undetected for over a year while compromising externally facing web applications, deploying bespoke malware, pivoting to sensitive internal systems, and abusing enterprise admin tools. The campaign pursues AI, cyber, medical, and national defense research. Action: organizations in medical, academic, and defense research sectors should review externally facing web applications for signs of compromise and audit enterprise admin tool usage. Source: Google Threat Intelligence. Jaguar Land Rover ordered 30,000 staff password resets after cyberattack. Jaguar Land Rover required all 30,000 employees to physically verify their identity and reset passwords in person following a cyberattack that raised concerns about compromised staff credentials. Former CISO Ashish Shrestha disclosed this at InfoSecurity Europe. Source: Data Breaches. Net. Next section: Patch Priority. Cisco Catalyst SDWAN Manager CVE 2026-20262, CISA-KEV due June 29. Critical file write to root escalation exploited in the wild. Google Chrome/Microsoft Edge CVE 2026-11645, CISA-KEV due June 23. V8 out-of-bounds memory access actively exploited. Lightspeed cPanel plugin CVE 2026-54420, CISA-KEV due June 18. Symlink-based root escalation on shared hosting. Oracle PeopleSoft CVE 2026-35273, CISA-KEV deadline past June 15. Authentication bypass exploited by Shiny Hunters targeting higher education. Microsoft 365 Copilot CVE 2026-42824, patched server-side. No user action required, but validates need for prompt injection defenses in AI systems. Next section: Vulnerability Disclosures. VHDX file delivers Rumco's RAT Sans ISC reported a malicious ZIP archive, SHA-256, A010491, containing a VHDX file that discloses malicious JavaScript after automatic mounting on modern Windows systems. The JavaScript delivers Rumco's RAT. Action: block VHDX file execution from untrusted sources. Educate users about email attachments containing virtual disk images. Source: SansISC. Linux BAM timing attack. CVE 2026-54411. Linux BAM through 1.7.2 contains a timing discrepancy in the PAM UserDB module's plaintext password comparison, CWE 208, in modules /PAM UserDB /PAM UserDB. C. A local or network-adjacent attacker can recover plaintext passwords by measuring response timing differences when the module is configured with crypt equals none. The comparison uses SDR-NCMP, preceded by a lengthy quality check, leaking password length and individual prefix bytes. EPSS 0.3, 24th percentile. Action: audit PAM configurations for crypt equals none in PAM UserDB modules. Reconfigure to use proper password hashing. This vulnerability only applies to plaintext password storage configurations. Source: MSRC. Microsoft Edge Chromium CVE, or Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. Batch Microsoft published multiple Edge Chromium CVE advisories for vulnerabilities addressed in upstream Chrome releases. CVEs include CVE 2026-12012, use after free in network, out-of-bounds write in codecs, insufficient validation in dev tools, integer overflow in libyof, type confusion in bindings, uninitialized use in codecs, race in network, insufficient policy enforcement in network, object lifecycle issue in SVG, insufficient data validation in media capture, inappropriate implementation in plugins, heap buffer overflow in GPU, and 11 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Action: update Microsoft Edge to latest version. All vulnerabilities are addressed in current Edge releases. Sources: MSRC. Next section, Trends and Context. Cisco SD-WAN continues to be a high-value target for advanced threat actors, with this being the 8th exploited vulnerability in 2026. The steady stream of exploitation against this platform suggests targeted campaigns by sophisticated groups. The Microsoft Copilot Search leak vulnerability demonstrates how AI systems create new attack surfaces for old bug classes like SSRF and race conditions. Parameter prompt injection is emerging as a distinct threat category that defenders need to monitor. Chrome's 5th zero day of the year reinforces the importance of rapid browser patching in enterprise environments. That concludes today's Cyber Threat Brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay patched, stay vigilant.